Hello, I'm Colleen Holder and this is Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Café Coco in Crown Point, an award-winning restaurant which is part of the Coco Reef Resort. Choosing to dine here can easily be described as making the choice to partake in a culinary journey across the English, Dutch and French Caribbean. This place seats up to 200 patrons, yet still manages to maintain an intimate setting. We'll tell you how management pulls this off as the program continues. But first, let's look at our stories this week. Tobago's national security in focus. What's being done to safeguard our borders and keep this island safe? Meeting the growing housing demand and a plan designed to give tourists the best experience island-wide.
Sit Tobago, ready to provide your community with the highest degree of professional services in emergency response. Contact Sit Mariah at 660-0065 or Sit Speyside at 660-6096. Sit 24-hour services, emergencies, medical or other. Sit Pro, the new face of emergency management.
You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. Thanks for joining us today at Coco Cafe in Crown Point. It's said that from the time you enter this place, there's a sense of serenity and peace that envelops you. Perhaps that can be attributed in part to the decor made up of waterfalls, fountains, marble and hand-painted tiles and sculptures. Other architectural features include 18 classic statuettes ensconced in individual alcoves. But we're going to have to leave the safety of this place for now to deal with the difficult issue of crime. As you might be aware, the police on this island recently made what has been described as the biggest drug bust in Tobago's history. For some, it's a reminder that this island remains vulnerable, although it has so far been spared the crime scourge of the sister isle. But in a world that's becoming more and more borderless, what else can be done to keep this island safe? Here's Davia Chambers with some answers.
Unspoiled Tobago. Aptly branded, clean, green, safe and serene. But all this is being threatened because this island is being used as a transshipment point for drugs.
We realize that Tobago, we are surrounded by water and we have a lot of secluded beaches which are not accessible by vehicles or even if you want to, the normal person would not be access to some of these beaches. So we have to do some surveillance along the coastline to ensure that we can intercept these vessels before they arrive here, so that we'll minimize the number of drugs that enter the island.
Studies have established the link between the drug trade and its threat to public safety. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime found that, and I quote, the insurgency in Colombia and gangs in Brazilian shantytowns, Central America and the Caribbean are all connected to drug crime, end quote. Law enforcement and governments around the world have also complained that drug-related crime has turned neighborhoods in their countries into combat zones. Tobago can easily fall into this trap, but not if the police on this island have anything to do with it.
We have Charlottesville, the officers are right there. We have like Pigeon Point. We have on a daily bicycle patrol in these areas. We have also introduced a special patrol that will be patrolling our beaches on a daily basis around the island in different areas. So we are doing some, we have some initiatives that we are going to roll out to ensure that there is some monitoring of the beach from land.
Worldwide, although some progress had been made in reducing the supply of narcotics, the demand for drugs remains constant. But Mr. Moore is assuring this island will not be part of that chain.
As my foreparents and my parents used to say, the upholder goes in the teeth. All right, so we need to we will aggressively go after the people who are actually involved in the drug trade. So once we cut that link, that means there won't be that demand-supply relationship.
And to redouble its efforts in the fight against crime, the task force unit has been increased twofold. But the police say they need your help to keep Tobago safe. They're asking that you partner with them, sharing information that might be helpful to their investigations. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
Tourism is to Tobago what oil and gas is to Trinidad. The industry drives the island's economy, but getting travelers to come here is just half the job. Another key component is ensuring their stay is memorable. But that can only happen when everyone is on the same page and understand what constitutes the best visitor experience. The Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute, the THTI, knows this and has embarked on a program designed to ensure that areas which attract tourists offer high standards and quality service.
The village of Castara, well known for its tourist attractions, beaches, Saint Pulling, guest houses, restaurants and eco sites. But to enhance what the village already has, to raise the quality of service offered, some things need to change.
Something important in Castara, signage. Castara don't have proper signs. Signs to the waterfall. Tourists just come in here and ask where's the road leading to the waterfall. They don't know.
Tour guide operator and resident Errol Roach says he knows what can rectify that problem.
An office of information that is run and operate by the tour guides and the stakeholders in the tourism industry in Castara. Now I'm saying that to say not someone from the tourism office in Scarborough come to Castara and run the office.
This other resident, Bertil Taylor, who owns Alibaba Tours, shares what he says tourists want to see in the area.
Most of the time they would say, well, we think the beach could be a bit more clean. Some of the restaurants could be a bit better standard, a bit more clean, better service.
The marketing manager at THTI, Kieran McDougall, says that training will be done.
With respect to the proposed training that is required for the community, those have been noted, and of course your recommendation and suggestion in terms of having these training done in the community of Castara, of course, that is of course one of the things we are really looking at and would definitely happen. I think it's only fair, and of course by bringing the program closer to home, there's a possibility that we would be able to reach a wide cross-section of people who can benefit.
Castara is the second village to have this kind of interaction with the THTI. The first meeting took place in Lansfomé. The Division of Tourism and Transportation has endorsed this approach because it wants to ensure that tourists who visit Tobago get the best experience, regardless of which part of the island they choose to see or stay. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're taking a break, but on the other side, going back in time to the 1800s. This is Let's Talk Tobago. Thanks for joining us at Café Coco in Crown Point. This restaurant, bar and nightclub offers not only a good time and a pleasing palate, there's also food for the eyes and the artistically inclined. Why? The collection of artwork displayed throughout this space is enough to keep patrons enthralled. We'll stay with this theme for a while longer, but with emphasis on Tobago's rich history, from the era of the Amerindians living on the island to the colonial period that saw ownership change hands over 20 times. Omadara Mills tells us that there are people passionate about this stuff, and they want to ensure the artifacts from this period are in good hands.
Military equipment and maps dating back to the 1800s, paintings of Fort King George and Scarborough from the 1830s, and the remains of Amerindians found on the Mount Irving estate. These are some of the pieces of Tobago's history collected by members of the Mount Irving Museum Trust when the museum was first established at the Mount Irving Bay Hotel in 1976 by Patrick Boyle Lake Cogland.
His personal interests and his benevolence as chairman of the Mount Irving Development and Mount Irving Bay Hotel secured for Tobago a singular and unique collection of archaeological and historical materials.
Mr. Villain is also on the board of the Tobago Museum Trust, the committee now in charge of the Tobago Museum under the THA. He says that over the years, its academic benefits have impacted on locals and foreigners alike.
If, for example, young people would like to pursue an archaeological field, this is an important starting area for them to learn about archaeology, about how it was done, the research done, because a lot of the artifacts were collected by some of our outstanding international and local archaeologists.
The selection to be handed over to the Assembly includes Amerindian artifacts found on the Mount Irving grounds when the hotel was under construction, as well as other areas around the island and the Caribbean region.
The trust here gives guidelines and points out the important heritage sites on the island, points out the importance of restoration of the historical buildings, points out the importance of the value in our heritage resources.
The Mount Irving Museum Trust handed over several artifacts to the Tobago Museum Trust in 1992 when it was moved to Fort King George. But an official ceremony is expected to take place in July to formally hand over the rest of artifacts to the Tobago Trust. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Former national player and professional footballer Dwight York was spotted by an Aston Villa manager around 1988. He signed with them 1 year later. Fast forward to 2013. Members of the under-11 team at the St. Clair Coaching School with several players from Trinidad are making a trip to the United Kingdom for the Kiel International Tournament from July 22nd to the 29th. Like Dwight, they too are hoping to be spotted by an academy to kickstart their career.
I love football because it builds my speed and I've developed different skills. I love football because it keeps me fit and I just like to play it. It encourages me to keep fit.
They're building endurance and ensuring they're smooth with their armor, the football, not just for fun, but because they want to have a future in the game that's not too distant, but can begin as early as next month. The boys say they are ready to take it to the next level.
Every day I just train home with my friends and play matches every day. I think we'll win, and the team is great and we're a strong team. So,
while they're doing what they can to ensure they do well, coach of the team, Orson Thumb, says there's a key point in the guys' training sessions that'll help them to be successful.
It's a work in progress. Normally on Saturdays we have the coaching school, and the group of guys that we have here, we try to have them stay together so that they'll be more familiar with each other.
He says he's hoping the team returns with the Kiel Tournament's shield again this year by winning a match.
In all honesty, last year I didn't expect the guys to do so well. First of all, because they weren't together for an extended period of time. This year we are together for a longer period of time and the bunch is more mature.
But more than returning with bragging rights, he anticipates a member of the team getting scouted.
We have some talented guys in the bunch, and last year there were several interests from several scouts, but things didn't work out as we expected to. As I said, the ultimate goal is to have 1 or 2 players get picked up by an academy.
The Under-11 team, which was partly sponsored by the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport, will also visit academies while in the United Kingdom, such as Aston Villa and Wolverhampton. The Kiel tournament started over 30 years ago, and as many as 20 countries participate. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
Non-profit organizations play a crucial role in society. Many work with little or no funding and give of their professional and personal time, expecting little in return. For most of these NGOs, it's about giving back and playing their part to make the world around them a better place. Well, here's some good news. They're getting a little financial help.
The Forge Club of Bishops High School has students from all forms participating in activities which make them self-sufficient. With activities such as cooking and sewing, club leader at the school, Enid Dekoto Thomas, says the students learn there's more to life than academics.
We try to make them all wrong by giving them a little extra. Those who are not doing agriculture will get a little exposure in agriculture. You learn a little about your home decor, your kitchen, where we will teach them how to save and utilize all that they have in a special way.
18-year-old Daniel Adams, who is the vice president of the club, collected a $2,000 check which will assist the students on their trip to go to the Demby Agricultural Show in Jamaica later this year. The event will see a coming together of all the forage clubs in the Caribbean. Daniel says that the club allows him to have new and fun experiences outside of studies.
Yeah, people should join forage because it's good exposure to other things, because it helps you step outside of your safe zone so that you can go out and do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Another organization, Fairwinds Foundation, received $1,200, a reimbursement for their jazz brunch held earlier this year. The brunch was an event to raise funds to assist in their community outreach projects. The founder of the organization, Angela Ansalam, says the organization carries out projects to help nurture the youngest in the society.
We have our back-to-school drive, which we give out book bags and stationery to school kids, and also this year we are going to give out bags to every primary school in Tobago starting in September.
The two organizations were among the 11 NGOs and individuals who received the checks. For this batch, the Office of the Chief Secretary distributed over $65,000 to them so that they can continue their work, improving the lives of Tobagonians. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take another break, but coming up, netting the big fish. Details about a competition that sharpens our fishermen's skills. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Let's Talk Tobago, and today we're coming to you from Coco Cafe in Crown Point. Choosing to come here offers patrons a wide-ranging experience, from a chance to bask in serenity and peace against the backdrop of waterfalls and fountains, to an opportunity to satisfy your artistic appetite. But that's not all. An open kitchen gives food lovers the option of seeing their meals being prepared by experienced chefs schooled in the art of fine cuisine. And there's a fine art to winning the competition you'll now hear about. It's the fastest growing sports tourism event in the world, and it's making waves in Tobago.
22 teams, 15 from Trinidad and 7 from Tobago, competed for supremacy in 6 different categories of this year's Dragon Boat Festival. The 2-day festivities started with the ceremonial painting of the eyes of the dragon, and shortly after 10 a.m. the races began. With the first of the 10 mixed senior heats, all junior heats and finals taking place on day 1. The winner of the junior males title went to Sea Dragons from Southeast Secondary School. The junior female winner was Bishop's Anstey, and the junior mixed winner was the combined team of Bishop's Anstey and Trinity College East. But a day at the Tobago Dragon Boat Festival also means a taste of the Chinese culture. Patrons were able to sample food and giveaways from sponsors. They were also entertained by the ceremonial lion and dragon dance and the rhythm of drummers of tomorrow, even as fierce rivalry took place in the waters. Just after 5 hours of competition, spectators were able to see the teams in their final races. In the end, Oceanos emerged the winners of the Tobago Teams Division. Titans A cupped first prize for the Mixed Senior Division B, but the winners of the Mixed Senior Division A and overall winners of the Tobago Dragon Boat Festival was Aquaholics D. The Chinese ambassador, through an interpreter, says he was happy to see a part of his people's culture being embraced by Trinidad and Tobago.
我希望呢，大家能够比出好的成绩。
The ambassador said, today, all the people get together in this beach just for the memory of Mr. Chu Yan in China history. It has been a long time history of the dragon boat racing in China. But today, we held the third dragon boat racing in Tobago, the beautiful island, and I feel very, very happy.
The Tobago Dragon Boat Festival is promoted by the Division of Tourism and Transportation in collaboration with the Dragon Boat Federation of Trinidad and Tobago and Digicel. This is the third year of the event, and the division is committed to the event as it augurs well for the development of the island's sport tourism industry. From the Division of Tourism and Transportation, I'm Juliet James for Let's Talk Tobago.
And there was another event happening out at sea, the 10th annual commercial fishing tournament put on by the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment. 2 days at 5 different weighing stations across the island: Charlottesville, Bell Garden, Palatuve, Mount Irvin and Pigeon Point. Davia Chambers reports.
It was 2 days of fish, fish and more fish. Groupers, snappers, kingfish and barracuda were the major fishes brought into weigh by fishermen from all around Tobago. While the fishermen see it as just another day at work, according to volunteer at the Department of Marine Resources and Fisheries, Darian Fraser, the purpose of the tournament is to enhance the abilities of the island's fisherfolk.
In terms of how well they can go out and maximize their catch. What it intends to do is sharpen the skills of the fishermen, so I think in that way they'll be beneficial to the fishermen themselves.
And it definitely tested their skills. Choppy seas for the 2 days of the tournament meant that the weather conditions weren't ideal, but the fishermen remained optimistic about the competition and their catches.
As I said, this is my first year and I find the competition very nice. It's exciting. I just entered this for the excitement of the competition.
Caught a grouper, that is 10.2, then I caught a dolphin, that is 8.3. No, well, what I really wanted to catch, I catch everything, but I'm satisfied with because I do better today than yesterday.
I didn't catch anything yesterday. Today I caught what, 2 dolphin, 2 wahoo, and 1 tuna.
I like it. I love competition. Let's see who is the luckiest fisherman in Tobago.
Andel also had one of the biggest catches in Mount Irvin, 44 pounds of snapper.
Sort of proud. I'll go and try to get a big one tomorrow.
But the division has bigger expectations for the tournament.
We need to see large catches in terms of billfishes, swordfish, sailfish, those sort of species. I think that's what people are dying to see, because ordinarily you would have snapper, grouper. I mean, everybody's accustomed to seeing that, but if you have those fishes, those are the fishes that are the flagship species.
And most of the fishermen are hoping to capture that first place prize.
Well, if I get that pickup, hell break loose.
146 fishermen participated in the tournament with 70 boats. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
And Andel and another fisherman, Lloyd Hart, did win. They had the largest snapper in Mount Irvin, weighing in at over 40 pounds. Here are some other results in case you missed it. And this festival has grown from a simple exhibit of local cuisine at the Mount Irvin beach to an international food exposition at the Pigeon Point Heritage Park. Here's Juliet James with a taste of what you can expect at the event on Sunday, June 23rd.
At the annual Tobago Culinary Festival, visitors from all over the globe can enjoy the myriad of culinary flavors that reflect the diversity of Tobago's heritage and the creation of its indigenous food. At the Culinary Festival, one can savor and sample Tobago's popular and mouth-watering flying fish, not to mention the famous curry crab and dumplings made with local blue crabs, a favorite among patrons. Other dishes that highlight Tobagonians' passion for seafood includes spicy salted codfish ceviche or buljol, garnished with avocado and served with either coconut or Johnny Bake. a type of unleavened flavored flatbread. Also available to excite the taste buds of the adventurous food lover is raw oysters served with spicy, sweet or tangy sauces. Tobago, the food lover's paradise, is also known for its sumptuously prepared provisions, soups and stews, also known as blue food. These indigenous crops include a wide variety of local ground provisions such as yam, tanya, eddos, dasheen, sweet potatoes, and cassava root, also known as manioc. These are either boiled or fried and served alongside rich, full-bodied chicken and beef stews or combined with fish and chicken to make a flavorful broth. Breadfruit cooked in coconut milk and salted meat introduces curious onlookers to the versatility of traditional indigenous cuisine as it takes a modern twist. With a variety of booths to choose from, patrons can only follow their noses to their favorite dishes. The Tobago Culinary Festival remains a promise of food for soul with an assortment of sumptuous local and international cuisine, reflecting the cosmopolitan history and the diversity of the island. For the ultimate in culinary experiences, Tobago remains a food lover's paradise. This year, the Culinary Festival will feature entertainment by the Mighty Shadow, Johnny King and Baron, alongside the Drummers of Tomorrow and Lakoto folk performers. From the Division of Tourism and Transportation, I'm Juliet James for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have your say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, the viewers. Earlier in the program, we told you about what's being dubbed the largest drug bust in this island's history. You also heard what the police are doing to protect our borders. But the Chief Secretary, Orville London, has suggested that the central government needs to go a bit further. He argues that national security in Tobago cannot be an appendage to the country's plan. So we're asking, do you agree that the situation in Tobago warrants separate attention? This is what you said.
No, I don't think they should have their own crime plan because it's Trinidad and Tobago at the end of the day.
Honestly, yeah, I believe that Tobago should have a separate idea then, a separate crime plan.
Okay, I always felt it was necessary because of the uniqueness of Tobago, that you should have a specific, and anything you're doing at all in Tobago, you must be very specific.
Tobago should develop its own plan, but like everything else, it should be incorporated with Trinidad.
Who better to know what is taking place in Tobago than those who are governing Tobago, such as the people, the national security, people who are attached to THA.
It's one country, it's one set of people. There's an increasing amount of drug use and dealing in Tobago, and given time, it is likely that Tobago will start to experience far more similar problems to Trinidad.
And that's how we bring this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago to a close. Do remember you can send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Like us on Facebook and add us to your YouTube playlist. I'm Colleen Holder, and on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, have a safe and enjoyable week. And as we go, we leave you now with some final scenes from the Tobago Dragon Boat Festival.
Thank you.